Thank you for the kind introduction. That's a long biography. I've got to shorten that. It's good to be with you today. The last group was armed. I trust you are not. And I was a little concerned about that, but I want to thank you for inviting me to join you. I also want to thank you for bringing me to the Hyatt. It's always good. It's always good to be able to look at the competition. I'll be counting the threads on the sheets tonight, and I will take all the promotional material back to Brands tomorrow morning. We don't always, we don't get out much, so we have to check in these things when we get the opportunity. This is really exciting for me because obviously we're in the business together. And you really hold the future of our industry in your hands when you talk about the students you serve. It's important to note that we at Marriott take that very seriously. And while I'm not here to give you an advertisement on Marriott, though I tend to have a hard time finding my team in the audience, hey guys, stand up for a second in case somebody didn't see you. I don't intend to give you a commercial. I'm not going to spend a long time talking about the fact we have 18 brands. Now, I came from sales and marketing, so I tend to round up, so stick with me on this. We're almost 4,000 hotels. Actually, we have over 30 million members of our Marriott Rewards program. We're number one on the internet, and the fact that we are number 7 in the world on the internet, not just in hotels, I probably won't talk about that, and I don't want you to worry about those facts. The fact that we are in 71 different countries and that we have really almost 250,000 associates, if you start blending everybody together, including our franchises, it is a wonderful company, and I know our representatives here, Steve's group, will definitely spend time with you during the meeting and help convince you of everything that I might have been able to try to suggest tonight. I'm not going to sell the book here either tonight. I might have been a little, out there trying to name my speech after my book. But the other day, a couple of months ago, I asked Mike Oceans, Dr. Oceans at Boston University, if he could help me out and help me craft a syllabus for the book. And his creative juices went to work, and he named the syllabus, "You Can't Teach with Your Feet on the Desk." And so I thought that was a better title for my discussion with you tonight, because frankly, I really think there's some truth in that. With everything going on in the world today, you really just can't sit back and worry about the many things you have to worry about as administrators. And I realize just from my exposure and experience with the university systems that I have had the opportunity to work with, both private and state, that each of you really are facing challenges that could keep you in your office all day. The administration, the paperwork, the committee meetings, the number of meetings that you have to go to. But frankly, we've got to get you out there, and this association meeting is one of those to help you keep on top of what's going on. And it's a principle that we believe in Marriott. And so I thought that one of the things I could do is spend some time talking about a few of the things that are going on out there. Now, this is a global organization, although dominated by North America. And I could sit here and read factoids to you all night, because as you know, and you're well read, and you spend a lot of time keeping up with what's going on out there, there is a lot of change in the wind. I'm only going to share 2, and I will read them rather than try to memorize them. And these 2, I've got a if you ever want to get some of my factoids, send me an email. I'll send you the stack I've got. But these two I picked out because I think they speak a lot on what we're facing. 6 countries out of, they are all emerging nations, will account for half of the world's growth by 2025. 6 countries. We do not live in that country here. And those 6 countries are Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, Korea, it said South Korea, but Korea, and Russia. It's hard for me to call China an emerging country. I know one day the Japanese woke up and they found that China had surpassed them. And then they realized they were sending millions of dollars to China because they were an emerging country. And I hope they took the time to cut that program out. But China is not an emerging country by my definition, but it is certainly in the forefront. The next statistic will tell you why I'm going to spend the next 3 weeks where I'm going, which is Rwanda, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa. The IMF predicts that 9 countries in Africa will literally be among the fastest growing in the next decade of the top 25 countries in the world. These emerging countries throughout the world are where the action is. You know it, and I know it, and finally this country is beginning to catch on to it. China's middle class is growing to the point that by the next 10 years, China's middle class will be another 270 million people. And China, when the middle class is the middle class, is a traveling country. Their middle class travels the world. And that middle class, while not defined by the same rules we do, we know that that will be a phenomenal step. India expects in the next 10 years, although they only have about 8 million travelers today, to reach 50 million. So when you think about those countries I first listed for you, they are becoming our new global customer. This allows me at this moment to do a commercial break. And if Roger Dow was up here with me and Bill Marriott was up here with me, they would both ask that we talk about the fact that the United States has closed its doors to the international markets. And this is both a crime for our economy, something we seem to be worried about right now, and a real shame. Last year, there were more Chinese in Paris than in the United States. It is difficult to get a tourist visa from China into the United States. Marriott has 62 hotels in China now and well over 35 under development construction. The fact of the matter is, we know the Chinese enjoy tourism. We have seen them in Hainan Island, and frankly, we are at this point in the process of having 5 hotels in that destination. They love warm weather. Hawaii would love them. Our coastline would love those customers. And those customers, and when visitors visit, we consider them to be exports. Why? They bring money. They bring money at every level. It's not just for hotels. It's for the restaurants. It's not just for the restaurants. It's for the cab drivers. It's for the tourism, the shops. Tourists are, by all means, every way you want to measure it, the best economic stimulus you can have. And there is a voracious, fast-growing market that this country needs to bring to its shores to get its stimulus going. Any way you can write your congressman while we resolve the debt and anything else would be greatly appreciated, because we have a number of our industry leaders up on Capitol Hill trying to get them focused on opening the doors so we can get some of this money into the commercial. Let's go back to the thoughts at hand. My thought is at this point that the good news out there is this industry has nothing but growth ahead of it. When you consider the amount of potential tourists that are coming, it is phenomenal. And I'm not talking about the U.S., I'm talking about the global world. That's why Marriott and our competitors, I won't use their names and reinforce your thoughts about them, that's why we have the picture up here, Marriott. You notice it's in red. But our competitors and Marriott are all directed toward the same objective. The global market today holds tremendous potential for us as an industry. And it means jobs. It means opportunities. And in my mind, it has challenges, but the challenges are just part of the picture. The opportunities far outweigh it. And in our industry, we are going to depend on education to give us the people that can make the growth happen. Now, people always ask me, what is the situation with the economy today? Well, I've worked for Marriott for 39 years. And the fact of the matter is that our industry is not an industry that deals with just 2 or 3 years. We look at a long-term picture. You don't build a hotel for 2 or 3 years. So you need to look at the long-term view. You need to look at all these economies generating new middle classes. It's not just China. It's Russia. It's Korea. It's Brazil. It's the U.S. continuing to grow, but not at the same pace. And that means that the world's people want to travel, they enjoy travel, and they begin to bring us a new world. That being said, if I built the case for you for why we have opportunity, let me ask a favor in getting you to think about some of the differences. My world has, for the last 21 years, been the international arena. I did drop by the United States occasionally. I have spent time in the U.S., and obviously as an executive in the company, I know some of the things going on here. But some of the trends out there that are really impacting us, you are very much aware of, and I just want to touch on some of them for a second to put a context to the next couple of comments I make. You know that domestically, food and beverage in hotels has diminished. It's moved to the freestanding restaurant arena. National Restaurant Association should be very happy. The fact of the matter is that's happened in our area. We're beginning to see it happen in Europe as restaurants, freestanding restaurants, seem to be able to offer enough variety and excitement. That is not the case in emerging countries. In the case of our Mumbai property in Bombay, we do 2,500 covers a day for restaurant only, does not include catering. It's an exceptional situation. In Dubai today, we are building a 1,600-room hotel, but it has 17 restaurants. Now, the Middle East is a little different. You can only drink in a hotel. Oh, would that be the case in New York? But the fact of the matter is that the rest of the world still, in many emerging markets like Asia, see the hotel as the place to go for food and beverage. And